What's going on, Charity? How you doing? Just about to start the show. Okay, we are officially live. Yo, the levels is good. The levels is good. The levels is good. What a boy. Okay. Big man, you wanna hear some hot takes? Let's see how woke you are. You know something about podcasts? Hey, yo, dígame. You kidding me or what, man? I got these three drunk uncles with a sports podcast. They say they got fire takes, pure fuego. You find them wherever you listen to podcasts at. If it's what they say it is, you like and you subscribe. Listen, like, and subscribe, yeah. You know how to call into the show? Yeah, man, do the podbean app. You'll need headphones with a mic to call in. That's no problem, man. They'll also be at Sharky's, 8:07 p.m. on the first Wednesdays of the month. You may get some free Blue Chew. And they keep receipts or so. If anything happens in the sports world, MyT's gonna drop a take faster than a rabbit gets fucked. There's only three things I have in this world. My word, my balls, and this podcast. And I don't break them for nobody. MyT Sports Season 7. Y'all ready for this? Evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Untitled Chapter. It is another en fuego day in the hottest city in the world. It is November 19th. They told us we was going to have highs of 80s, lows of 72. We have shattered scours all gosh darn day, if you know what I'm saying. It's been busy out in these streets. It's been real busy out in these streets. And boy, we got a show for you today. This is officially Season 7, Episode 32, Excerpt 365 of the MyT Sports Podcast. And man, I hope you guys are ready, cause I'm ready. If you're ready, I'm ready. If you're ready, I kind of been ready. I've been ready like you ain't real ready. I was all ready and fish and spaghetti kind of shit. You understand? Like special delivery. We gonna talk about those dirty birds laying another egg. We gonna get into Big Bud Crawford's fight, and you know here on the MyT Sports Podcast how much we love ourselves some big buds. Yes, we do. You know, we have Thanksgiving just about a week away. We got the Knicks debacle, so you know we got some Knicks talk. We know we gonna stay with some Knicks talk. We got our NFL picks coming around the corner. What's going on, Mo? I see my sis over here popping up in the chat room. We got Survivor Series coming up. TGI. No, thank God it is Friday. Whew. Folks, Vince McMahon and Dana Brooks was trending. That shit threw me for a loop, right? We have the MLB MVP. We got Blue Chew. We have all that and more. But you guys already know what we say here. Regardless of the time. Take that. And regardless of the weather.
You play to win the game. Hello?
It's always a good time to talk some sports. Now go ahead and light your spliff. Go ahead and pour your drink up. We about to stir some shit the fuck up. So basically, I'm a professional pot stirrer. Let's start talking. Woo! Back at it like a sports fanatic. MyT Sports. What's going on? I'm checking out your eyebrows. I never noticed how snatched they are. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
I don't even. What the fuck does that mean that my eyebrows are snatched? What the fuck? And why are you looking at my eyebrows? I'm sexy as shit. Hold on. How them looking out? They still snatched? I don't even know what the fuck you talking about. You gonna have to define the word snatch for me. My sis over here talking about she looking at my eye. I don't even look at my eyebrows. I mean, I kind of do. Cause I'm just I gotta make sure like I don't get that unibrow shit going on. So I gotta taper that shit right here in the middle. I be trying to look like Anthony Davis. Oh, I have nice eyebrows. Oh, then facts. Eyebrow game is on point. You know what I mean? No crayons, no pencils, no liners, no nothing. This is all natural. You understand? I've been growing my own eyebrows since 1981. You understand? I do all my own stunts. Let's get to the birthday shout outs. I'm wilding with the sis already. Yeah. Oh, you hear that? Yeah. You know what that means. Cause yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. Check it, yeah, check it, yeah, because it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday, check it, yeah, check it, yeah. Okay, we only got 2 birthdays. We only got two birthdays to go ahead and shout out before we start our weekend, folks. We had one birthday on the 18th. We got one birthday today, right? First birthday is gonna go out to Rebecca Nichols. Rebecca Nichols happened to be a homegirl from around the way. I used to go out partying and drinking with the crew. You understand? So I want to say one happy birthday to Rebecca Nichols. Another birthday shout out goes to Neon Charlotte. Neon Charlotte happens to be a homegirl that I worked with when I worked. Where the fuck did we work at? It was someplace that I hated. I'm pretty sure it's someplace that I hated. I'm pretty sure it's someplace that really triggered the fuck out of my PTSD. It's one of the places that I realized, yeah, I'm not gonna be here long. Like, not only do I not like the work, I don't like the pay either. Like, you guys couldn't keep me. You guys couldn't keep me if you wanted to. What the fuck was that? Was that the warranty place? The home warranty place? It could have been. It could have been. I think I cussed out a supervisor there because she questioned me on a doctor's appointment. I'm watching with my son and my pops. What's going on, fam? La Familia all day. El Barrio. Lota. You know how we do, B. You know how we do. You know how she go. You know how that shit go. You know how that shit go. So, to Rebecca and to Neon, right? We want to say happy birthday. We hope you party hard. We hope you enjoy everything. And more importantly, we hope you continue to stay weekend at Birdie style. MyT. Hey, yo, that's all we got. DJ MyT, go ahead and cut that beat. And don't you guys forget where you can catch the podcast at. The podcast can be found just about anywhere. Go ahead and download the WESN app. Yes, folks, you can find us on the WESN network amongst the lineup of podcasts that they happen to have on their radio station as well. You can already find the Mighty Spots podcast there. Also, I'm pretty sure by now, all of you's got a smart speaker, right? Just tell your smart speaker, play the latest episode of the MyT Sports Podcast. Now, I know it's a sport device, but it ain't that smart. So you have to spell it out for it. You have to let it know. You want to play the latest episode of the MyT Sports Podcast, and it'll go ahead and pull it up. Whether you want to listen to the latest episode or you want to watch the latest episode, it'll go ahead and do that for you because, listen, we're everywhere that you listen and you watch at. Also, go look in the bio. Go check out the bios. You see a little thing that says Linktree, linktr.ee/MyT Sports Podcast. Go ahead and follow that. And that's one-stop shop, everything MyT. Clothing labels coming soon. And oh, yes, folks, there's still more ways to catch us. If you want to come and catch the show live in person and be part of our live studio audience, you can catch us on the first Wednesday of every single month, performing live from Sharky's. And for people that haven't been to Sharky's in a while, there's no more smoking in Sharky's. So you don't got to worry about your clothes or your hair smelling like smoke and all that shit. You don't got to worry about that shit. They got drink specials, they got food specials, they got beer specials, and they have me. Just Mr. Special. Special delivery. Special delivery. Don't forget where you can catch the podcast at. Now let's go and get into our first topic of the day.
First of all, you play from.
Who? Did y'all wait? I see some people popping up. What's going on, Kenny? What's going on? Oh, Poe! Poe done popped in and popped out. I see you, Poe. I thought I saw you. Poe just had a brand new baby girl. Shout out to Poe and her brand new baby girl. I forget the name because I'm horrible with names, but the baby Poe. Pose happens to be our residential soothsayer, our residential card reader. Anytime that you guys are ready, you go ahead and check out her website, wholeeshift.com, to go ahead and get yourself a reading. That's whole, WHOLE, then another E, shift.com. Don't worry, I'm only on beer number 2. What's going on, Six Figure Line? Let's make y'all left. Wagwan sugars. See you watching you. I see you. Mwah. Mwah. Sorry, folks. I apologize. I just said to love my sugars way. And don't you guys worry. I'm only on beer number 2. So, the Drunk Uncle podcast is not officially in effect yet. But don't worry. The other drunk uncles will be here eventually. I think they are. See the thing about drunk people? You can't. It's hard to rely on them. They ain't never on time. You don't never know what the fuck they gonna say. They always on some crazy wild shit. That's the reason why we started a podcast. It's all drunk uncle funness. And we got the drunk aunties popping up in the IG live. Don't worry, we're gonna get a couple more drunk aunties a little bit more on the podcast later. We gonna start ushering them in. We already got the drunk uncles. Then we gotta get the drunk aunties. We gotta get the drunk tias and the drunk tios. You understand? We gotta get them both. Let's get into our first topic of the day. Can we run that back?
First of all,
Woo! Did y'all see Thursday night football? Did you see Thursday night football? I know I was not the only one. We had the New England. Let's start off by saying I hate both these teams. I really and truly do hate both these teams. But if I had to pick a team in this scenario that I don't want to say that I'm rooting for them to win, but if I had to pick a winner, damn right I am. If I had to pick a winner, this is what I was this is the team that I went for. So this is the only time I can honestly remember in the last 20 years of me rooting for this team. But I did that. What's going on, TP? Oh shit! I done choked myself out trying to say your name, trying to be funny and shit. I done forced a whole horse into my own throat. The only horse-related objects I should be having is in my pants. I'm just trying to say. You understand? It's not just a stereotype, right? I don't think they can hear me on Podbean. Like I'm really starting to feel upset. I'm seeing everybody pop right out on Podbean. I'm gonna need some of my people to go in on Podbean and go ahead and listen and tell me what's going on there. I don't like the pattern of what I'm seeing over there. That's like I didn't like the pattern that I was seeing from the Thursday night football game. New England Patriots versus, let me back that up. The New England Cheetahs versus the Atlanta Dirty Birds. There's not a lot of games that ultimately fill me with disgust when I hear the matchup. This game was full-blown in effect one of them. And since I had to pick a winner, since I was forced to pick somebody to come away with a dub, I was rooting for New England. We have to get you a nice backdrop. You're right about that. You're right about that. I like what it goes. It's the home studio. It feels homey. You understand? It feels like a bear and a smile. Right? So I wasn't a big fan of these teams, but I knew I had to pick one. And if I had to pick one, for one of the very rare occasions, I decided to go ahead and pick the New England Patriots over the Atlanta Dirty Birds. Is it because I hate Atlanta more than New England? Not really. Because I don't think there's a team in the league that I hate more than New England Patriots. But the Atlanta Falcons, I enjoy poking the most fun at. Outside of maybe the Dallas Cowboys, I really enjoy poking fun at Atlanta fans. That's what you get for allowing them to shut down Freaknik. Bring back Freaknik, and maybe you get me stop talking shit about you. You hear me? Bring back Freaknik, and maybe I'll take it easy on you. Well, go on, Teddy. Other than that, I'm sorry. I'm going to continue having my fun poking fun at Atlanta Falcon fans. And Atlanta Hawk fans at that too. Because while I hate New England and I poke fun at the New England Patriots or the Atlanta Falcons, I actually really don't like the Atlanta Hawks. I mean,
Oh, you thought Trae Young was so good?
Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young!
thank you, sis. And everybody, if you guys can, like and share the podcast. Also subscribe too, and also and sign up for the notifications so that you guys can get that little bing bong. Oh shit! Oh, fuck the bing bong, right? All right, hold on, I got a sidetrack. Fuck the bing bong shit that's been popping up lately, right? Can I tell you? I have a mental jukebox, and I call it a mental jukebox because that's my age. I tell my niece I got a mental jukebox. She has no clue what the fuck I'm talking about. So I got a mental playlist for everybody who don't know what a mental jukebox is. And sometimes I don't know the songs that's in my mental jukebox. Shit just gets implanted in there. It's not me. Can I tell you, for about 3 weeks, I had a song in there. Beep, boop. Beep, boop. Beep, boop. And I couldn't remember anything else but the goddamn beep, boop. Beep, boop. So here I am. You know how you could ask your smart device, Ayo, smart device, what's this song? What's that song? I'm over here trying to ask the smart device, Ayo, smart device, what's the beep boop song? It's pulling up Bebop. It's pulling up shit from the Ninja Turtles. It's pulling up motherfuckers in like big ass yellow, pink, and red suits. It's pulling up all kinds of shit. And then out of nowhere, I'm listening to some music, right? I don't know if my girl was with me or she was just on the phone with me. And bam, it came through the wire. Beep boop. Beep boop. Beep boop. And then I realized the song that's been in my head. She sucked that nigga so gotta cash out. And back gotta back. That song was in my head forever. Oh my god. The beep boop song. It's I couldn't even tell what the real name of the song is. But in my head, it's the beep boop song. So while the whole entire country or New York City was over here going through their craze of the bing bong, I'm over here being haunted by the beep boop. Just say it. Hey, yo, Shugs. That's something else I'm torturing my girl with. But my girl, listen, I torture my girl with stupid shit. Like, in case you guys don't know, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big ass clown. I'm a big ass kid. Like I like that song, like that Toys R Us song. I took that shit to heart. Like I never wanted to grow up, and I really should have paid attention to that song a little bit more because like this is the worst hood I have ever lived in. And I grew up during crack in the 80s, and I'm telling you, adulthood is still the worst hood I have ever witnessed ever. Why isn't there more handouts for adulthood? I don't know. I don't know. But I hate it here. I absolutely hate it here. I don't even know why I decided to move this motherfucker. See, this is what happens when you follow all your friends and you try to do what they do. Now all of us in adulthood, hating it. So I'm a big ass kid. I'm a Toys R Us kid, and I torture my girl with crazy shit. Right now, I'm torturing her with a dance, and she has no clue what the fuck this dance is. I showed it to you guys the last time on the podcast. Oh my god. I showed it to you guys the last time on the podcast, and I just had to. I'm gonna show you guys again because I told her I'm gonna keep doing this dance. I'm even gonna do this dance in public, right? When we're out together in public, until she records me and she asks her social media community, "What the fuck is wrong with her boyfriend? Can somebody please tell her what I'm doing?" Until she does that, I'm gonna torture her with the. For those that know, like if you know, you know. Like, if you know, you know. But I'm torturing her with that shit. So if you guys know, go help her out because I'm driving her completely crazy. It's hilarious to me. Every time I do it, I crack the fuck up. Like I'm maintaining my composure right now, but inside I am dying because I realize that nobody is dying on the inside more than Matt Ryan. Because for a good, how long has it been now since Matt Ryan made it to the Super Bowl? How long has it been since the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady erased a 28-3 lead that would basically leave Matt Ryan a battered, broken shell of a man? I'm telling you folks, he has PTSD. If you guys don't recognize the signs, you look at it. Every time he's up in a game, they find a way to lose. Every time they're about to win, they choke somehow. They play Tom Brady, he can't get right. They play New England, and you might as well go. Why the hell you in all? Cause I'm in the holiday season already. I'm happy. Hold on, you tripping? Like I got them ready. I'm in the holiday season. Like we already here for the New Year. Hold on, see that shit? We got the New Year one ready. You know what I mean? We got that shit here. Look at that. We got 2 New Year's one already, right? But I'm out here because you know I be delivering smiles. Like during this time of the year, I feel like the Black Santa Claus. Look at that moon. Okay, that's New Year's 2021. We can't use that shit. That's expired. That's it. That shit's expired. But bam, look at that. I've been all red all day. Look at that shit. Bam, got another one. That's what I'm talking about. Bam, look at that shit. You know what I mean? Bam, bam. Oh fuck! I might do the podcast. The podcast like that. This is me being in my holiday spirit. But really, for all the red, it's for all the blood that Matt Ryan spilled on that field on last night's game. You saw him bleeding all over the place. What is okay? Something has to be going on with podbean. Okay, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna have to do something real quick because I see too many people popping in podbean and popping right back out, and I don't like that shit. I don't like to see that shit at all. That shit does not fucking sit well with me. Cause my podbean on is supposed to come in there, they're supposed to sit down, supposed to have a good motherfucking time, and then they're supposed to come the fuck out. This old popping in and popping out, they're supposed to sit back and relax. The fuck is all this shit going on? Alright, we're gonna keep trying this. We're gonna keep trying to work to see what happens with our podbean feed. Something's going on with podbean. We'll get you guys working. Y'all see Matt Ryan bleeding all over the place, throwing ducks, unable to score. And this isn't even Tom Brady. This is why I said this man straight up has PTSD. I know what you guys are thinking. T, you just don't like Matt Ryan. You just don't like the Atlanta Falcons. Part of that is true. The fact that Cam Newton didn't have a job for a while and Matt Ryan didn't understand it. But I'm going to tell you this. Matt Ryan is one tough son of a bitch. He is that. He is one tough SOB. But that don't mean that he is still not hot garbage. And I know what you guys thinking. Oh my God, this is Matt Ryan. He went to a Super Bowl. He did this. He did that. He did a lot of things, yeah. That Matt Ryan did do. But he also failed on the biggest stage. And if we're going to start holding players like Cam Newton accountable when they make it to the biggest stage and they fail, and they happen to share the same division, then why am I going to go light on Matt Ryan? When Matt Ryan can't even go light on himself. This wasn't even Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. This was rookie Mac Jones, Mac and Cheese, and Bill Belichick against the Atlanta Falcons, the dirty birds. and they couldn't get right. Atlanta again with their elite tight end and wide receivers that they're supposed to have and Swiss Army knife running backs. And we're talking about they pitched a shutout. The New England Patriots pitched a complete shutout. 25-0. Like I said, it might as well be Pick Six City in New England. Folks, we have Survivor Series coming up this weekend. And if you're a wrestling fan, you're familiar with Suplex City. This is even worse. This is Pick Six City. In the last 4 games, the New England Patriots, I think, have 5 pick sixes. 2 of them came in this game. They had 3 interceptions. Let's just put up the box score. Because they may have had more than 3 interceptions. And I don't want to rob them of their credit. I don't enjoy a lot of New England games. I really don't. I really don't enjoy a lot of New England games. But can I tell you, I enjoyed the fuck out of this one. I really, really enjoyed the fuck out of this one. And that was only because I enjoyed watching the Atlanta Dirty Birds and Matt Ryan get dismantled. But you know what I'm still not hearing? After they pitch after they get shut out 25-0, you know what I'm still not hearing? After this team went ahead and they threw, what was it? 2 interceptions by Matt Ryan. 4 interceptions this game. 4 interceptions this game. I said 3, but it was 4. You know what we're not going to hear? We're not going to hear them coming for his job. We're not going to hear them clamoring for Matt Ryan's job. Well, you know what I am already hearing? The excuses. Fucking shit. I don't know what the hell is going on here. But Podbean is really pissing me the fuck off. I ain't gonna lie. They really are. Podbean is supposed to be the way that I connect with the people. And right now, they are not helping me connect with the motherfucking people. But we'll continue. Just like I can't connect to the people, Matt Ryan couldn't connect with his people as well. Matt Ryan threw 2 interceptions. This game got away from Atlanta so bad that they put in their backup quarterback and without injury put in their backup quarterback. And still, Pick Six City was in full effect. They might as well have been pansexual. It didn't matter what race, color, creed, gender you wore, you caught those hands. Or those hands caught your balls. Pause. Matt Ryan throws 2 interceptions. Game is just about on the line. What's going on, Monique? Game is basically on the line. They decide to throw in Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen! Josh, can I tell you? I think it was just a week or 2 ago. We were sitting right here. And we brought up the name Josh Rosen. I don't know why he came up, but he floated in the air. You know how we spilled him in the air a little bit? And I was wondering, you know what? Is Josh Rosen even still in the league? And this week, I got my answer. On the very first drive, after Matt Ryan throws his 2nd interception, right? They decide to bench him. Let's let you know how this went, right? Because this is probably in the course of 6 plays. Or in 6 offensive plays for the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan throws an interception. Pick 6 happens. They decide, you know what? This game is over. Let's go ahead and sit you down. Let's go ahead. Thank you. Let's go ahead and give you a little break. You know what? We don't need to keep adding on to this anymore. Then they put in Josh Rosen to answer the age-old question, is Josh Rosen still in the league? Yes, he is. Where the fuck is he? On Atlanta's bench somewhere. Five plays later, Josh Rosen is throwing a pick six himself. Oh my goodness. Folks, I can't make this up. I really, really can't. Josh Rosen, short middle, intended for a gauge, intercepted by Van. 35-yard return. Touchdown. New England Patriots. So they say, you know what? Josh, we tried to give you an opportunity, but you just ain't that guy. And you know what? I feel like they had a quick trigger, right? I feel like they had a quick trigger. Like, you know, they say, you know what? This game is getting away. Let's throw in Josh Rosen. Let's see if the kid has anything left in the tank. And I guarantee you, if things didn't play out the way that it played out, Josh Rosen may actually be cut from the Atlanta Falcons this week. He might have been, but he got saved. He got saved. Because while Matt Ryan threw 2 interceptions, and the second interception is what ended up bringing Josh Rosen in the game, in 5 plays, in one sequence basically, Josh Rosen throws a pick 6. And I'm telling you, that pick 6 would have gotten him fired. If when the New England Patriots, or when not the New England Patriots, when the Atlanta Falcons brought in their 3rd string quarterback. Yes, folks, they brought in their 3rd string quarterback. Felipe Franks. So, Matt Ryan, 2 interceptions, played the majority of the game. Josh Rosen, first series, throws a pick 6. Felipe Frank, hold my beer, please. First pass, first pass, first pass, first play of the game for him. He throws another interception. Folks, we're talking about, what was that? 1, 5, 1. 3 interceptions in 7 plays. Now, while I like to sit here and I like to laugh at the fact that that last interception is what helped the New England Patriots complete the shutout, but let's be honest, somebody needs to get Matt Ryan a shrink. Somebody needs to get Matt Ryan a psychiatrist. He needs a good head doctor. I don't know how many more times Matt Ryan can lose games like this or get embarrassed this bad by the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, or Tom Brady before he just completely snaps. Somebody get this guy an emotional support animal or an emotional support trophy wife or some shit. But he's going to need some emotional support. And while you guys are getting Matt Ryan some emotional support, get Josh Allen some emotional support as he exits the NFL. But one a little bit more closer to home, a little bit more personal, is going to have to be the emotional support that I believe is going to be needed for... Oh, let's say a second. Damn, you guys can't hear me? They really can't hear me. I guarantee you they can't hear me. Is the emotional support that the New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills, and the Miami Dolphin fans are going to need. Somebody get them some help as well. Because we're watching the New England Patriots reel off, what's this now, 5 straight wins? Somebody, let me take a quick look. Let's take a quick look. All right? If I'm not mistaken, this is something like 5 or 6 straight wins now for the New England Patriots with their rookie quarterback. We mentioned this last week, or we started playing around or informing you guys of this last week, and that is the New England Patriots. If you guys aren't lucky, if you guys don't pay attention, they can very well, and I do mean very well, they can very easily win a championship within these next 3 to 4 years. With who was somebody that's considered I don't think they're going to win it this year, obviously. But goddamn, if they win another Super Bowl with another rookie quarterback. We are witnessing, and we have been witnessing for now 21 years. But we're witnessing all over again. For everybody that didn't catch it the first time. How to build a quarterback 101. You don't have him taking shots down the field a goddamn time, because we even saw it here with Mac and Cheese, right? That as a dink and dunk intermediate quarterback, he's already proven to be one of the best. One of the first times that he decides to go long in the game against Atlanta, he gets intercepted. They surround him with a great defense, and they surround him with a great run game. I know I'm giving Bill Belichick a lot of credit for this, but we also saw the same thing with the New York Jets with Mark Sanchez. Get him offensive weapons, playmakers everywhere that you can on offense. For expensive ones, cheap ones, intermediate ones. Build a defense. Right now, the New England Patriots have a top 5 defense in the league. We are witnessing this all over again. If you didn't witness the rise of Tom Brady, then, you get to witness the rise of MJ. Not Michael Jordan, not Michael Jackson, Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of either one of these teams, because I'm not going to be a fan of if either one of them wins. And more important, I'm not a fan of seeing the pattern that I'm witnessing from the New England Patriots. How they're just rolling along. Out of all the teams that has a rookie quarterback, has a quarterback that's 2 years old, 3 years old, you know what I mean? But let's look at the rookie quarterbacks. He is doing the most with his rookie quarterback than anybody else is doing with theirs. He is getting the most out of his rookie quarterback that anybody else is getting out, because you know what he's doing? He's limiting his rookie quarterback's mistakes until his rookie quarterback can identify those things and then turn those and turn those weaknesses into strengths. He doesn't have them slinging it all over the place and figure it out. Oh, you didn't see that window there? You'll figure it out when that window's gonna be closed. And then they disguise that window 18 different times and you throw 18 interceptions for the year. That's not happening with Mac Jones. If you're a New England Patriots fan, I guess you're enjoying what you're seeing here. For everybody else around the league, for the teams in the AFC East, this should be your worst nightmare. But you know what? I don't want to stay so far down. So let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and you guys heard a little notification. We're about 10 minutes behind. But what you heard that little notification was for, and that notification was for what's called the 21 light salute that was started by my co-host Mark. And what he likes to do during the 21 light salute is flick the light 7 times in honor or to pay respect and homage to all of those that have been affected by COVID-19. Here we go, 2 years later, we still talking about COVID-19, right? That's just ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Let's go ahead and flick these lights 7 times. 1, okay, we've just begun. 2, this is all from me to you. 3, we're going to let this be. 4, just a few more. 5, for those that are alive. 6, let's continue to stay in the mix. 7, for all those that are in heaven. And folks, that is the 21 light salute, MyT style with my little remix. Now, let's go ahead and bring a little bit light into this, right? Because that was kind of a depressing story. Let's switch topics. Let's switch gears. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. What you want? Maybe I got. That wasn't even a good singing voice. As I'm preparing for the podcast early in the day, super early in the day, you know, I did the simple basic thing, right? A simple basic thing. I just went and looked at what's trending. Went to Twitter, popped up Twitter, search what's trending, sports. And trending 1 and 2 was WWE's CEO Vince McMahon, and number 2, WWE women's wrestler Dana Brooks. One and 2. Vince McMahon and Dana Brooks. Trending. Not for me, but for sports. And immediately, I wish I can do it. Immediately, it made me give the people's elbow. People's eyebrow. I was like, I can't do that shit. I can't do that shit. But it made me do the people's eyebrow immediately. Is this my new beer? Because my new beer feels kind of empty. My new beer feels like my old beer. And immediately, can you guys not hear me? Wait, one second. Can you guys hear me? Immediately, as I'm seeing Vince McMahon and Dana Brooks trending 1 and 2, I thought there was a sex scandal. I know this isn't the best thing to think about, but immediately I thought it was a sex scandal. And I'm talking to my girl, and I'm telling her, like, I haven't looked yet, but this is the first place that my mind goes to, is sex scandal. And that is only because Dana Brooks has managed to survive everything. I mean, like, right? You know what's so funny? Talking about survive everything. I'm watching a new anime about this chick that didn't want to get hurt, so she put all of her shit on defense, right? And it kind of seems like Dana Brooks figured out Ultra Instinct, because she has survived WWE through all kinds of cuts. And the reason why I say this the way that I'm saying this is because WWE has been cutting talent left and right and left and right and left and right for probably the last 18 months or so. It's been basically a running joke that the farm system that's called NXT in a way, in a sense, that Triple H has built, that every time one of those stars come to WWE, he cuts them, and then we find them in AEW. That is actually a running joke here. So as I'm looking through the Dana Brooks and as I'm watching Vince McMahon and Dana Brooks trend 1 and 2, my mind starts to wonder, What Wagwan, Trish? I know your last name ain't Chato no more, but Wagwan, Chato. How the picnic going? Yeah, look at picnic, alright? You dropped a hit single some time ago, if I'm not mistaken. For people that don't know, that's what I call babies. When people give birth, I call it them dropping a hit single. Unless you have twins, then you drop the double LP. I'm just saying. That's when you drop the double-sided album, like that second Biggie album. That's what you're doing. So my mind, back to Vince McMahon and Dana Brooks trending 1 and 2 on Twitter. So they're trending, and my mind goes to the most fucked up place at Kennedy, and that's the fact that they may have a sex scandal. And the only justification for that sex scandal is because we know that Dana Brooks has tried her hardest to revamp her look, which I also sent to my girlfriend to show her a picture of Dana Brooks then and now, and she didn't believe I was the same woman. They've given Dana Brooks all kinds of pushes, and it just never panned out. So when I saw Vince McMahon and Dana Brooks trending 1 and 2, I thought to myself, there must be a sex scandal that's finally popping up to explain on why she has survived this long in WWE. When everybody else around her has fallen for the last 10 years, she has survived. As long as she has known how to love in WWE, she's found a way to stay alive. She's basically had all her life to live, all her love to give, and she survives. She survives. Hey. But it still surprised me, and it made me think sex scandal. But no, to my chagrin, it wasn't a sex scandal. What it ended up being was that, there were more cuts that Vince McMahon made. There were more individuals released by WWE. And what happened was a group called Hit Row and several other individuals, right, were all let go. And can I say I felt like people were vibing with Hit Row a little bit more than they were vibing. What's going on, Paolo? That's Paolo. You know, people were vibing with Hit Row, and I thought I was vibing with Dana White. But Dana Brooks. But Dana Brooks survives. But the reason why Vince McMahon was trending number 1 is because he let go about 10 more talents from wrestling. Now I gave you this whole soliloquy of why I thought that Dana Brooks would be trending number 2, is because I thought that she would be possibly caught up in a sex scandal to explain why she has survived in WWE so long, especially based off a superstar with very minimal push, or television time, or merchandise sales, or social media following, or any of the many reasons that keep people in WWE. No. Ironically, Dana Brooks was trending because of all of the things I just kind of mentioned. All of the things I was curious about in a way. Of how did she last so long? She was literally trending because the whole entire social media world and wrestling community was wondering, how the hell is Dana Brooks still on the roster? So while I'm over here thinking she's trending number 2 because there had to be a sex scandal to explain why she's still on the roster, no. She's trending number 2 because nobody in the world can figure out why Dana Brooks is. And can I tell you, I started cracking up. I'm telling this to my girl, and we're cracking up about this because I literally thought I was going to read a sex scandal between Vince McMahon and Dana Brooks. Nope. We just got people coming after Vince McMahon's head because he's letting go of more talent. And then we have people over here throwing shade at Dana Brooks because she has survived another cut. And folks, you don't have to worry about being cut. You don't have to worry about being released. You don't have to be worried about if you have the talent necessary to stay up or get up or to stay in the game. You know why, folks? Because we have something called Blue Chew. What is Blue Chew, folks? Blue Chew just happens to be a little blue pill that can give you back your thrill. All you gotta do is open up a pack and then head straight to the sack. Just a few chews before you do. You know this, I'm gonna put you in 13 positions in 13 seconds. Or however that song goes. But just a few chews before you do. In case you're curious, this has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. So this is one opportunity that you really don't want to miss. She's gonna love how you come through like a champ when you Blue Chew in advance. And folks, if you would like yourself a free order of Blue Chew, all you have to do is use my promo code. Use this week's promo code. It ends in a few days, folks. FIMH. Fuck it mighty heavily. Or Fox Indigo Mike Hotel. FIMH. That way you can get yourself a free order of Blue Chew. I know what you're saying. What the fuck I need Blue Chew for? That shit is good. Well, if you're good, get better. You can always be better. I'm just saying, you could turn yourself from a 4-round fighter to a 12-round fighter with just a little bit of Blue Chew. Ladies, you don't gotta know. You don't gotta know. Get yourself a free order of Blue Chew. Pour some Hennessy with some Hypnotic. Make that shit turn into the Incredible Hulk. Crush up a Blue Chew and slip it into his drink. And then sit back and get your Lionel Richie on. You know what I mean? All night long, all night, yeah. All night long, all night, yeah. 'Cause everyone you meet is coming in the streets all night long, all night, yeah. Blue Chew, folks. Just chew it and then do it. Whew. Okay. I had to try to get myself into a better frame of mind. I had to try to get myself into a better mood. Before I talk about my Knicks. Because you know I stay with that Knicks talk. You know, regardless of what happens, I'm always going to have some kind of Knicks talk. Whether they're shining or they look like a flaming piece of shit, we always have that Knicks talk. So yo, drop that beat for me one time so I could talk about my Knicks. Where do I start? As we were getting off the air during the last podcast, we happened to see the New York Knicks blow another fourth quarter, lose to another team that they shouldn't be losing to. Just completely upsetting Knicks fans. The Knicks started out 5-1. Since then, they've been 3-6. 3-6. It don't get easier. They have a tough stretch coming up pretty soon. And the New York Knicks just aren't blowing fourth quarters. They're blowing fourth quarters to horrible teams. And the thing about it is that now we're coming to the point where the New York Knicks don't hit 3-pointers, we don't win. It's no longer Julius Randle failing or on the backs of Julius Randle, because Julius Randle already has it in his mind that he don't have to be that guy anymore. I think that's the problem, is that he still thinks that he doesn't have to go out there and be that guy, be that workhorse, and he has to force everybody to clog the middle. He has to be some kind of intimidating factor so that open shots become available for other players. But the fact that as it currently stands right now, the New York Knicks don't hit threes, we don't win. Losing to an Orlando Magic team that has 4 wins, folks. 4 wins. The Orlando Magic team has 4 wins. 2 of them are against the Knicks. And I wonder if you know how it feels to have your heart broken. You Fredo, you broke my heart. You broke my heart. You goddamn Knicks. You broke my heart. Julius Randle ain't clicking. The 3-pointers ain't falling. We already seen that Tom Thibodeau has already made the first necessary steps. Where, you know what? I do apologize, folks. You know what? I feel like I need to hit the reset button. I really do. I feel like I need to hit the reset button just a little bit. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. Right? I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. I'm gonna see if I can change my energy with these Knicks. I doubt it. When we come back, we're gonna get into our Knicks talk. We still have our NFL picks. This is a big comeback weekend. Got a lot of sweaty bodies bumping chest this weekend. We talking straight meat on meat too. So when we come back, we will talk about that and more on the Mighty Sports Podcast. And stop complaining about the commercial. Veterans Day was just around the corner. What is this? Why I won? We'll see you. We'll be back.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, I became a soldier.
We're back with the Mighty Sports Podcast. I'm still your host, the one without a Domar Taylor. If you're listening, that means you're listening to many places that we have provided for you to listen to this podcast at. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, iTunes, TuneIn, you name it, Spotify. We're all there, Pandora, we're everywhere. So that means everybody's going to be able to hear me complain about my New York Knicks today. Because New York Knicks have been... They've been disappointed this season. And it's weird, right? And I'm going to tell you why it's weird. New York Knicks have been very disappointed this season. They have their current schedule right now, the current record right now is 8-7. The disappointing part is that they're losing to teams that you don't think they should be losing to. They lose to a team like the Orlando. That is the slowest fucking reverse that I've seen. Shots need to get her game together. They're losing to teams like the Orlando Magic that only have 2 wins for the season. I'm sorry, 4 wins for the season. 2 of them against the Knicks. So half of their wins of the season came against the Knicks. For some reason, they play against the Knicks, they play up. Or for some reason, when the Knicks play them, they play down. But right now, the New York Knicks are playing down to everybody. Every single time when they come to somebody's town, they bow down. 3 for 6 for their last 9 games after starting 5-1. 3 for 6. Currently sitting at 8-7. So my first question is going to be: is a trade imminent for the New York Knicks? Right? As now we're starting to see some of the problems. We saw Tom Thibodeau starting to make some of the first adjustments. We're no longer seeing Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier close out games. These games are being closed out by Derrick Rose, Alex Burke, and Emmanuel Quickley. We're starting to see good minutes now from Obi Toppins. As the New York Knicks big men, the New York Knicks 7-footers can't stay healthy. So right now the New York Knicks are relying on their 2 6'9" guys. A guy that's 52 years old by the name of Taj Gibson from Brooklyn, and then his grandson, Obi Toppins, or his grandnephew, Obi Toppins. This is who the Knicks have also playing defense. So you start to also wonder, how do the Knicks go from the best defensive team last year to the worst defensive team this year? Part of it is no rim protectors. No true consistent rim protectors. I know Taj Gibson puts a lot of a hell of an effort at 6'9", but it's a whole lot different when that effort is being put in by 6'11" Nerlens Noel or 7-foot-tall Mitchell Robinson. It's completely different. Different fear factor. Right? Different intimidation factor. It changes your shot at the rim differently. It mentally tells you, okay, you know what? I can drive easily, I can't drive easily. Because we know that this guy is here versus this guy. One guy, you know, like, damn, he's probably going to get to my shot. Another guy, he may. Let me challenge him. He's 6'1", I'm 6'7". Let's go. He's 6'9", I'm 6'5". Let's go. Let's see what you really got, big fella. So people that want the New York Knicks are the same New York Knicks either. They're losing a lot. They've lost a lot of peace and a lot of the steam that they had from last year. So as the trade deadline gets closer, the questions, even more so than last year. And you know that if you're a Knicks fan, this is a question that pops up every single year as a Knicks fan. What are you going to do at the trade deadline? Who are you going to move? Who are you going to try to acquire? Who's upset? And can we get that upset player away? And then every year when this comes up, you get the counter arguments, you get the counter fans, right? Who are you going to give up? Because fans are fans. Some fans don't care. They say give up everything. Give up R.J. Barrett. Give up Julius Randle. Give up Obi Toppins. Give up Deuce McBride. Give up all of them. And bring in Damian Lillard. Bring Damian Lillard to a gutted team, and then, you know what, at least we'll have a star. And because Damian Lillard is here as a star, it'll automatically just make people want to fawn and come to New York. Like teams fawn and come to teams with no other talent. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And then you have the other side that goes, I'm not willing to give up my young, developed players, my young up-and-coming developing players, before they've ripened, before trying to see what I've gotten for my investment. They don't want to do that. They don't want to gut the team. They don't want to give up the requisite pieces to get the kind of players that they talk about having on their team. They don't want to give them up. So, again, we're going to hear about the Knicks, the trade deadline, trying to determine, or fans and media trying to determine, how can the Knicks get better? What can they do to make themselves a better playoff contender? And probably more so than most couple of years, this year may pick up a little bit more steam than last year, even the year before. This year, I see it, us having the necessary players to go ahead and make some of the moves that we're talking about, having the combination of veteran players, young developing players, veteran players, young developing players, and also draft capital to go out and get a player that you're looking for. But who is that player? Who can you pry away from their franchise? Which franchise can you convince, hey, let us have your stud? New Yorkers are panicking right now. And I do mean panicking. Because logically, it doesn't make that much sense to be panicking right now with a record of 8-7. Come close. Come close to the speaker, come close to the mic. Right? Just between me and you, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to tell you something. I don't want anybody else to hear this, so this is just for you. The New York Knicks, currently, right now, a record of 8-7. Last year, do you know what their record was after 15 games? 7-8. Yes! Wow! Crazy, right? Crazy! 7-8 was last year's record. This year's record, 8-7. Now, to add to it, obviously, last year, when they were playing their 15th game, guess who they were playing against? Orlando Magic. But this time around, they're losing to Orlando versus beating Orlando last year. So then I ask you, why does this year feel so different than last year? That when we now hear the New York Knicks at 8-7 versus last year's record at 7-8, last year's record at 7-8, New York Knicks fan were going half crazy. You understand? Last year's, when they had a record of 7-8, New York fans were already in the streets celebrating. Completely celebrating. Talking about, oh, we're having a good season. Oh, things are coming back to normal. Oh, the New York Knicks are back. Oh, that, you understand? They were
Let's go Knicks! Let's go Knicks! Let's go Knicks!
when they were a game away from 500 last year. So now I ask again, what changed? What's different? And what's different is expectations. This is truly the difference between having expectations and not having expectations. See, last year they came into the season. Nobody expected them to be winning. You remember the spread? You remember what the over/under was for W's? Nobody expected them to win. Nobody saw them coming last year. Now, teams are starting to see them coming. A lot of things that were happening last year aren't happening this year. Like we said, Julius Randle isn't beasting the way that he was last year. Still early, 15 games in. Who's know if he picks it up? Team defense is not there. They were first in the league in defense last year. One of the best teams in defense last year. This year, they're one of the worst teams in defense. So the defense isn't there. Julius Randle quite isn't there. Teams aren't surprised by them anymore, so expectations are high. But the difference is expectations. Last year, you finished at a 4 seed. What's going on, Black Rain? Welcome to the podcast. As you guys know, that the Blue Chew Get In hotline is officially open. So if you guys would like to call in through the podbean app, phone lines are open. That's why last year feels so much different. That's the reason why a 1-game difference in the win and loss column, from 7 wins and 8 losses, from 8 wins to 7 losses, means that so far this year we're doing better than we were last year. It's all about expectations. Even Vegas had us winning like 26 games last year, and we debunked that here on the Mighty Sports Podcast. Vegas had us winning 41.5 games this year. We called 50. Vegas may be right this year. Defense is worse. Julius Randle isn't playing better. But also, I do remember something hearing last year of how New York Knicks were allowing a lot of open shots. But a lot of these open 3-pointers that they were allowing were not falling for the opposing team. They actually were... For the amount of open shots that they allowed, teams actually shot the worst against them. So now we're talking law of averages. There's only so many times between those when those shots that you keep leaving people wide open on 3-point shots are going to start going in. And if they learned from last year that you're not fully closing out, that while your defensive efficiency and defensive rating may be high, that you're not quite getting there. And maybe teams starting to learn that we can start, not only can we shoot this 3 or we can get this open 3, but we can shoot it with ease, knowing that we're going to have an open shot because you aren't going to get there in time. Let's remember, the New York Knicks may have gotten better, supposedly, but everybody else has done more scouting now on the Knicks. I'm sorry, you're going to act like, we should act like these coaches just did absolutely nothing. They went and looked at, okay, how did we fail to the Knicks last year? Now that we're playing them. How can we get better? How can we overcome this? I got to go try this new grilled cheese, whatever the fuck this is, from Taco Bell. I'm feeling that kind of frisky right now. So, we're going to watch, obviously, and we're going to see if the trade deadline poses any kind of changes for the Knicks. I'm still of the thought that the future point guard of the Knicks is still already on this team. I'm already of mind that the starting point guard, starting shooting guard, and starting small forward is already on this team. And they could be on this, that unless they trade one of these guys I'm talking about away. There's 3 guys I'm talking about. I'm talking about R.J. Barrett. I'm talking about a guy that we haven't seen enough of yet, and that's Deuce McBride. If Deuce McBride isn't it, then I'm giving it to the light-skinned dude. Emmanuel Quickly. I believe those three individuals are the future of the Knicks. I really believe that they are the future, and we should love them and let them lead the way, and show them all of the potential they have inside. But we're going to see what happens when the Knicks get closer to this deadline. Closer to the deadline, that noise is going to start to pick up. As we already know, this would happen whether the New York Knicks beat the Orlando Magic, whether they were beating all of the teams that they were supposed to beat. You still would have heard noise surrounding the trade deadline. When the New York Knicks seem to be underachieving, even though we're doing better than last year. When the Knicks look like they're underachieving, it's only going to make trade deadline moves louder. And we're going to hear the names. Kemba Walker's going to be on that trade block. Get that. Believe that. Evan Fournier is going to be a name on that trade block. Believe that, because those two guys don't play defense. But at some point, we're going to have to see some little things. Right? Because who do you go out? Who do you get? Who do you pick back up? Right? Who do you replace them with? Because you're going to want guys that play defense but also can shoot the rock. Or do you want guys that can shoot the rock and you're going to hope that you can teach them defense? Evan Fournier may not just have the athleticism to play the defense that you want him to play. And Kemba Walker may not have the age anymore to play the defense that you want him to play. So what happens if you replace Evan Fournier with Buddy Hield? Does that help? Okay, does Buddy Hield want to give enough energy? Because he had the athleticism to play defense? I don't know about my Knicks. But Knicks fans, as you guys can listen to this podcast, go ahead and call in. Make sure you come back for the next podcast. Call in, because I really want to have this Knicks talk. This Knicks team should be more like 10-5 versus 8-7. I think, I'm not gonna lie to you, if the Knicks were 10-5, I don't believe that Knicks fans are complaining. I don't believe that anybody is hitting the early panic button. But the fact that they're 8-7 and they've had bad losses to Orlando, 2 losses to Orlando. So I'm just trying to erase those 2 losses. But they could be much better than that. They could be 12-3. Because we've seen them beat Milwaukee. We've seen them beat Boston. We've seen them beat Philly. But then we've seen them lose to Orlando. It's early. After Thanksgiving weekend, Thanksgiving is a week away. After Thanksgiving weekend, we'll probably have another 5 games or so underneath our belt. We have a doubleheader Saturday and Sunday. And we'll have just about 20 games now into the season. So we'll be about a quarter into the season. We'll see how that picture looks then. Like Tom Thibodeau says, first you said we got to get together in 10 games, and then we're at 20 games, then we're at 30 games, then we're at 40 games, and then the season has gotten away from you. Here we are, 15 games in. 5 more games, we're at 20. if the Knicks are still looking at like a 500 team after 30 games, guess what, Knicks fans? That's what they're going to be. They're going to be a roller coaster. They're going to be this 500 team. They're going to be just around 41.5 dubs. While it's not the 50 that we predicted here on the Mighty Sports Podcast, it'll still get them into the playoffs or the postseason, I should say. It's just that if they're a 500 team, when they make it into the playoffs or the play-ins, you're not expecting any noise. You're probably gonna be expecting the same exact shit that you saw last year, and that is a first round exit. And while it's a step in the right direction for a team that's been so abysmal for the past decade, it's not going to seem that way. It's not going to seem like progress. 42, 43, 44, 45 wins may just seem like a failing season for the Knicks, especially if you have with a first round exit. Fans are looking for the Knicks to have 50 wins and make it to the second round. I don't know if that's your reality yet. You may have to have another year of a bad exit in the first round for it to start clicking to whoever you have on the team. Whether it's Julius Randle, whether it's R.J. Barrett, whether it's Deuce McBride, whether it's Emmanuel Quickly, whether it's Obi Toppins. And my two Coles ain't gonna be able to hear this. Ain't gonna hear this podcast and understand, hear what I'm saying here. But it's probably gonna take another year of bad playoff exit before the Knicks actually advance past the first round. But let me ask you another question. If I came to you as a Knicks fan when Tom Thibodeau was hired and told you we're gonna make the playoffs, the very first year that Tom Thibodeau takes over. Actually, we're gonna make the playoffs the very first 3 years. Back to back that Tom Thibodeau takes over. Every Knicks fan would have taken that. If I would have said to you that, hey, after 15, 20 years of being abysmal, that the first year we make it to the playoffs, we get bounced in this first round. The second year, we make it to the playoffs, we get bounced in the first round. About the third year, we make it to the playoffs, we make it to the second round, and then we get bounced. What's going on here? I just want to make sure. Okay, I see what's going on here. I just want to make sure I wasn't being scouted. I play this game where you gotta stay on your tiptoes in these streets. Motherfuckers will attack your shit and have your house burning. If I said this to the Knicks fans before Tom Thibodeau took over, first year playoffs, bounce in the first round. Second year playoffs, bounce in the first round. Second year playoffs, bounce in the second round. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Knicks fans, I probably would have found maybe 7% of Knicks fans, if that. If I asked 100 Knicks fans, 7 of them would have probably said, that's unacceptable, we need to do better. I guarantee you 93% of them would have said, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Without knowing what's going to happen in the 4th year. They all would have taken what I just told you. Because we looked bad for so long. So, why does this year feel so different than last year? Why does this year, through 15 games, feels like it's such a failure? While we're still above 500, we're still a winning team. Why does this feel like such a failure versus last year? When last year we were 7-8, and at this point last year, it felt like a win. Expectations is one hell of a drug. And when you're not expecting it, expectations will hit you like the 5 fingers when they talk to the face. Yo, this okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this. Rittenhouse acquitted of murder. That is some bullshit. Let's go ahead and say this right now. This motherfucker literally crossed lines to go kill innocent people, and he was acquitted of. You couldn't have had me on that jury. I swear to fucking God, you couldn't have had me on the jury. This just shows you how the fucking justice system is completely fucked up, how completely bad it is. Look at him. And it shows you how completely fucked up that this justice system is. That the 17-year-old white kid could go out and murder a bunch of people and get off. But just years ago, they're charging 15-year-old black kids like adults. Having them spend the night. I'm sorry. Rittenhouse protest in Brooklyn. Yes, look at that. Brooklyn is protesting. Go ahead, Brooklyn, stand up. Burn that city. Burn that city. Not Brooklyn. The city that allowed him off. That courthouse that allowed him off. That judicial system. You burn every single fucking government building that they have. Burn that shit the fuck to the ground. That's the only way that they understand us. It's the only way that they'll give us peace. The only way that they'll give us justice. Everybody wants to defend him and be like, oh, the people that he shot happen to be this and happen to be that and happen to be that. He didn't know that. He didn't go out there to shoot these individual 3 people because he thought that they were a harm to society.
Upon hearing the jury's verdict, Rittenhouse cried and collapsed onto a chair in the courtroom. A guilty outcome.
This is courtesy of Fox 5 News.
In prison for the 18-year-old.
Justice was done for Kyle. He gets to live a life as a free young man.
Rittenhouse fired a semi-automatic rifle during a protest in Kenosha in August 2020, claiming self-defense. He killed 36-year-old Joseph Rosenbaum and 26-year-old Anthony Huber. Huber's parents say they are heartbroken, and today's verdict means there is no accountability for the person who murdered our son.
There's no accountability when white people kill people. Let's just put it that way. There's no accountability when white people kill innocent people in this country.
Also frustrated.
It just really is.
The defense argued Rittenhouse feared for his life. Prosecutors say Rittenhouse was the threat, painting him as an armed vigilante. This happened during a summer of racial justice protests about police violence against black people. Kenosha ignited after a white police officer shot and wounded Jacob Blake, leaving him paralyzed. Blake's uncle speaking after the verdict.
I'm not so surprised because in this city, my nephew was shot 7 times in the back and no charges were ever leveled.
This case has generated intense emotions on both sides and attracted national attention, even President Biden weighing in.
I stand by what the jury has concluded. The jury system works and you have to abide by it.
And he has to say that as president. You notice how he didn't say anything, he didn't put out any hate speech. You notice he didn't put out, and he didn't try to antagonize anybody on any side. He just said, you know what? He stands by the justice system. The justice system worked because as a president, to say that the justice system did not work means that he is throwing a monkey wrench into the whole entire system, and he can't do that as president. He is legally obligated as a commander-in-chief to support the system. But I see Brooklyn protesting. Thank you. Because we know if this was Chris Paul and his city, or any team that Chris Paul was on and whatever city he represents, they wouldn't have done this. Chris Paul time and time again has found a way to drop the ball when it comes to social justice. But every time that he has 2020 revisionist that quarterback chair of revisionist history. He says, "Oh, I wish I would have done this." But yeah, he's been presented with the same scenario twice and they didn't do shit. The justice system really doesn't care. Like I said, like this isn't a black, this isn't a white thing, but this definitely shows you that little white boys or white people can go out there and murder innocent people all day long and get away with it continuously, consistently. And again, how media and individuals like to do, they like to try to pull up the past of the victims as if that is the reason that got them killed. They didn't get killed because of anything that they were. They got killed because some little young punk wanted to go and enforce his will in a city that didn't have shit to do with him. He crossed city and state lines with a loaded weapon, and he decided to conduct in what's considered premeditated murder.
Jumaane Williams came by to show his support.
I think everybody kind of instinctively knew that Barclays is going to be one of the spots to come to. I think people are looking for a way to express their energy and their anger and their trauma and let folks know that, you know...
Again, this audio right now that you're hearing is courtesy of Fox 5 News.
America.
I told you, if he was found guilty, there would have been no protest. The fact that he was found innocent or not guilty of these charges is the reason why he's found. And I'm telling you, I couldn't have been in that jury. We would have been in a stalemate. There would have been no way that you could have convinced me that he was innocent. Not one way whatsoever. And listen, I hate to say this, right? I really hate to say this. But I can't wait till a little black kid goes and shoots up a school. I can't wait for him to get off. I want him to get off on the same shit that they let this little fucker off on. I want some little black kid to go shoot up some little minuscule city. Go ahead and shoot up some little backwater town or somewhere and go ahead and get off. I want to see that shit. Y'all just let this little fucker get off. Y'all raised millions of dollars for a fucking murderer. Y'all supported a murderer. But like I said, people like to try to help justify people that look like them and their bad actions. So obviously right now, I have a lot of Caucasian friends that are ultimately coming to his aid, or trying to justify what he did, or trying to say, oh, these are the 3 people that he killed. He's a murderer. Who cares? Premeditated murder is premeditated murder. He didn't kill anybody thinking that he was protecting more individuals from society. And here goes this dumbass Nancy Pelosi.
It's bigger than anything we've ever done. President Biden's Build Back Better Act would increase taxes on the wealthy, cut prescription drug costs, fight climate change, and put money towards affordable housing, elder care, child care, and free pre-K for all.
Under the president's plan, no